The power of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan, and said unto them, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan, and from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land wherein you now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. And the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years.
Now let me speak on that, because you got a lot of knuckleheads out there that'll read this scripture and say that that's talking about America. That seems to be the new bullshit that they're pushing out there. And the chief guy that's ahead of that whole thing, he's the king of that BS, is a guy by the name of Nathaniel 7. This jackass, all right, on one of his tapes, but I believe he took it down, all right, he said that that's talking about America. Why does he teach that? Because the Lord is not dealing with him. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua is not dealing with that clown. So why do you fools follow that jackass? Now whether the Most High, whether he's ultimately a man of the Lord, we'll find out. If he repents, maybe the Most High have mercy on him. Maybe the Most High have to do something drastic to get him back into the truth, or maybe the Most High just drop him like a bad habit. But you, Nathaniel 7, you're a simple-minded nigga at this point in time for teaching something that's so simple, something about being in the land for 400 years. It's not talking about America, you dumb jackass. It's talking about so-called ancient Egypt. Because what did it say? Wasn't it speaking about Abraham? What in the hell is wrong with you? Now right there, like I said, we're dealing with the Hyksos. Now, according to what was dug up, and when you put the scriptures together, the Hyksos would have to be Israelites. And this now has been brought out more than 10 years ago, all right? Back in the old school. Then it kind of got buried, so now it's got to be brought back up again, all right? It's no big deal. That don't mean I'm going to wear an Egyptian hat and all that. I'm not going to put pyramids all in my house.
Go back to Egypt.
Go back to Egypt movement. But now, if you look right here, this right here, you see that they have beards on their faces. These are actually Israelites. And this is, I believe, before they went into captivity, because there was a point where they were on top. They were like the pharaohs. They were the rulers of Egypt. That's why in Exodus, the first chapter, it tells you that look, let's take these people down and enslave them before they get with another nation, and then they totally take us down. Because the Egyptians feared that the Hyksos, or the shepherd kings, which were the Israelites, was just going to totally destroy them. All right, you want to get that, brother? Yes, in Exodus 1, let's start from the top.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt.
And you can see some of them are darker, some of them are caramel colored, some of them are light skinned. You know, they don't have that Hamitic look. They got that Shemitic look. Because we're Shemitic, and the so-called Africans are Hamitic, which we look similar to them, but in the beginning of the world, everybody looked the same. They were dark skinned, they pretty much had woolly hair. Go ahead.
Every man and his household came with Jacob, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher.
This is when Joseph was already established. The reason why they was able to come in there because Joseph was sitting on the throne. Go ahead.
And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty.
Now why did they wax exceeding mighty? Because they were over everybody. They were over the Egyptians. They were over Mizraim. So the so-called Egyptians said, look, we got to take these people down. Because then they said, they read that again.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding.
Now can you do that while you're in slavery? Can our foreparents back in the 1700s, were they doing good? No. Whatever they found, if they found a piece of gold, whose gold was that? The white man's gold. So you can't prosper while you're in slavery. That's why the Egyptians got together and said, we got to bring these people down. And that's why we went into slavery. Mainly because of prophecy. That's the main reason, because of prophecy. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly.
See, just like niggas in this society, this is the Most High refers to America as the new Egypt. Yep. But these niggas want to stay in Egypt, man. Right. Talking about Bunyamin, if he gave you a job, motherfucker, I ain't taking no job, getting no goddamn $7 no fucking hour. You gotta be out your, you gotta be a real, Mexicans don't even take, wouldn't even take that, man. And I talk to Mexicans all the time. They said, oh no, I got too much skill. You know, I put up the wall for you, no, you're not gonna pay me $7 an hour. You know, the white man, maybe he has 45 an hour, maybe he has 22. But no $7, fuck that, I go back to Mexico. Yeah. But you're boneheaded, you're a real asshole, Bunyamin. I mean, yeah, that's his name, Bunyamin. Yeah, go ahead.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased.
That's why you ain't prospering, man. That's why there's no fruits coming to you guys. Sitting back there talking about, you ain't gonna do nothing to Esau. You guys are scared little mice. You're mice. You're not even men. You're mice. You're Hebrew mice. Go ahead.
And increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding.
I have to say it that way. It came out that way, but that's how they're acting, like little mice. The white man give you a job. Working for 7, you'll be happy with that job.
Do your best.
Do your best. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled.
I'll do my best to sue his ass. That's under, that's under the minimum wage.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So that's a crime right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You dumb hammerhead nigga, you.
That's slave.
Go ahead.
And waxed exceeding.
You're a slave. Bunyamin.
And waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
You see what they said? They're more and mightier than we. Go ahead.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that, when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with vigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick.
So eventually the so-called Egyptian got the upper hand over the Israelites. And that was after Joseph had died. Alright? In other words, the Israelites at that time let their guard down. See, when Jake is doing good, like they had this thing called, what was this called out there in Oklahoma? The Black Wall Street. See, they had all this money they would do. They didn't need anything from the white man, but you know what they were lacking? They were lacking the military.
Yep.
The nigga figure, well, the white man ain't gonna bother us. We're not bothering them, so they ain't gonna. Don't you know the so-called white men or every nation see you prospering? They're out to get you. Why do you think every major nation has a military? So you're not taking over. So you Jakes just sat back. You were doing so good. You just friendly with every goddamn body, and it said that they said, let's deal wisely with them. In other words, let's supplant them. Let's be nice with them, and let's slowly get the upper hand. And that's exactly what happened.